Hey folks, Pastor Josh here. We're going to continue our Advent, December 8th, 2016. December 8th, 2016. Now understand something. You're not seeing, you are right in thinking that I'm doing most of the videos in one sitting. Um, Doing this way so that I am not cumbered around the holiday season to get these things done. Although I'm not opposed to doing it in that way, but I understand that I would desire for my family to be able to draw near to the Lord myself, and I do these to help you draw near to the Lord, and that you would focus on God this holiday season. Yesterday we talked about putting things in front of God, getting things ready, getting things done, and how that takes precedent over just stepping back and centering oneself around the real reason for Christmas, the real reason for the season. But today we are going to go to the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua. I didn't write this book. This was the book of Joshua. Although this is my namesake. This is the prophet that I was named after. So the book of Joshua, chapter 6. I'm going to go to verse 20 and 21, although the Advent devotional says just verse 20. And it says here, it says, today we hang the trumpet on the Jesse tree. According to God's instructions to Joshua, the walls around the besieged city of Jericho crumbled at the trumpets of ram horns blown by the holy men. The holy men, and the spoils were left for the Israelites. Now the whole story of this. Now write this down. This is important. So write this down. The whole story of this is from Joshua 1, verse 1 to 11, and then chapter 6 of the same book, Joshua, verses 1 through 20. And I give you these in each video because I want you to prayerfully reflect on these verses and on these stories, because these stories are very important. What we're going to read today is very important to understand that when the walls came down, how symbolic that is for us today. So let's read verse 20. I'm going to go ahead and read 21, okay, just to kind of finish out the thought. It's one paragraph, but it's two verses. It says, so the people shouted, and they blew the trumpets. When the people heard the trumpet sound, they shouted a loud battle cry, and the wall fell down. So the people went up into the city, one man after the other, and they captured it. They destroyed all that was in the city, man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep, and donkey with the edge of the sword. So the city was besieged by another country, another country, and God directed Joshua to march around the city walls 7 times. And then at the 7th time, make the loud shout, blow the trumpet, do the battle cry. So they did, and this is the result. The walls came tumbling down. Now, why? Why? And why does this fit for us today? You know, this is the question we're going to ask. Why does this fit for December 8th, 2016? Why does this fit? Well, God would desire for us, when we draw near to God, we draw near to Him, and we draw our families near to God, and draw our families near to Him, something important begins to happen. Okay? Have you ever had, a lot of us have family members, have you ever had family strife? Have you ever had family quarrels where it seems like somebody holds a grudge and walls are being built in your relationships? Maybe it's not a family member. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's a real close workmate that's your friend. Maybe it's somebody that's real close to you, and something happened, and they can't seem to get past it, and the walls are built. Well, let me tell you something. Let me give you this example. God will, when you draw near to God in this Christmas season, and you encourage others to draw near to God, God begins to work in behalf of you. And He begins to take down the walls of division in your life. You see, this is what this was about. See, the walls of Jericho were dividing the Israelite people from their city, from their besieged city. Did you know that this can be used as an allegory for our human life? The walls of regret, the walls of anger, the walls of bitterness, the walls of whatever you want to put, sin, those things separate you from, number one, a real relationship with God, a real close relationship with God, and number two, it separates you from a real close relationship with the people you care about, whoever that might be. And so doing this Advent season, and why this is so important, is because when we draw near to God, He draws near to us, and He helps us to see things through His eyes and not our own. Because when we look through our situations in our own eyes, we look through tainted glasses, tainted with regret, tainted with anger, tainted with bitterness, tainted with fear, tainted with all kinds of things. But when we look through the lenses of God, God's glasses, God's lenses, we see things as they really are, see things as God sees them, and then that helps us to see people, see circumstances in such a way that it brings that wall down. And as you draw near to God and encourage others to draw near to God and do things with your families and do things with your friends that center around Scripture this Christmas season, those walls will begin to crumble. And as God works and as God does things through you and with you, those walls will fall down, and God will heal those kinds of those situations and circumstances that you feel are not healable. Okay? So understand, God is doing something here. And we have to be open to do it. We have to be open to doing those things. So that's my challenge. That's my advice for today. Sit down with your family. Sit down by yourself and do these. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with who you really are. And maybe you don't have to be honest with, maybe you don't have to be as open, I should say. I shouldn't say not as honest. But maybe you don't have to be as open right at this moment with who you are really inside with someone. But you at least have to be open and honest with God. And open and honest with what He is doing in your life in order for these walls to start to crumble. So that's my challenge. That's my challenge for you. Allow God to do a work and allow Him to draw you closer to Himself. So until next time, till tomorrow, this is Pastor Josh. God bless.